Amen. Thank you, Elder Sams. At this time, I would like to introduce to you our presenter for the afternoon, a dynamic speaker, enthusiastic motivator, and she has journeyed and sacrificed to be here with us this evening. She is Elder Janet Walters, journeying all the way from Mandeville, and I'm emphasizing that. She's a counseling psychologist, and I think she's the counseling psychologist also for the Northern Caribbean University. So she has sacrificed time to be with us so that we can be strengthened here in Maypen. With her, I'm seeing at least 3 new faces. I saw 2 last night, a couple in the back, and I would ask Sister Walters when she gets here to introduce what I am assuming is her son. Okay, there's a slight resemblance there. All right, so we're happy to have you. So brothers and sisters, help me to welcome our presenter, Sister Janet Walters. Amen.
Good evening, everybody. I'm so happy that you're here tonight, and the weather did not cause you to stay home. I just want to introduce and welcome my intern, Joel Shillingford. He is here with me. He's doing his intern at my office. And I also have Lennox Murray from NCU, and Tash. Tash, trust me, we didn't get the full name. All right? A significant other. All right? So my official driver for the rest of the week. All right? So we'll be seeing them coming with me in the night. Okay, so we're still few numbers, but that's okay. We're not concerned about that. What we want you to do, for those of you who are here, please pass the information on to others so that they can learn as well. And so tonight we're looking at the dynamic duo. I coined it the dynamic duo, the parent-child relationship. When you hear dynamic duo, what comes to your mind? Batman and Robin. Why? So what is it about Batman and Robin that we call them the dynamic duo? What is it about them? They work together. What you were saying? Oh, I thought he had his hand. So they're working together. So it can't have one without the other. All right, so I can still work with this title. All right. So we're looking at the parent-child relationship. Now, I want us to understand that parents are usually the first people a child learns to trust. Once a baby is born, the baby starts building the trust with mommy from as a matter of fact, from inside right through the birth canal, right up, all right? And so parents and families are the most important people in children's lives. And the many different relationships people form over the course of their lifespan, their relationship between parent and child is among the most important one. So let me ask this question now. Do you remain a parent forever? Yeah, sure. So I didn't get a resounding yes or a resounding no. I hear yes. Do you remain a parent forever? Do you parent forever? Wonderful. So, but you know, I get so many responses, but here we don't parent forever. When do you stop parenting? When the child is on his own. So when the child reaches adulthood age, right? Good. Very well. So we have established that one. So the definition, the term parent-child relationship refers to the unique and enduring bond between a caregiver and his or her child. And to understand the parent-child relationship, we look at the ways that parents and children interact with one another physically, emotionally, and socially. Did you notice when my sister was here, her daughter wanted to be here? Because it's part of the attachment. She wants to be there and they're observing you. So they want to do like what you're doing. So it's very important from 0 to 7 that whatever you're doing, you make sure you're doing the right thing. Because that child is going to sop up everything. They might not understand it fully, but they will display it later on. So the parent-child relationship types. So the parent-child relationship can be biological or adopted. So we understand what that means. All right? And so biological parents and children share genetic material, while adoptive parents and children usually do not. But it's good when you adopt a child very young, that child will only come to know you as parent. All right? And we know the biological part. Adoptive parent-child relationships are most often legal arrangements that form a permanent parent-child relationship. And so the relationship between parents and their children is important to consider when discussing physical, cognitive, and social development in children. So what are types of parent-child relationship? I have here, there are 4 categories: secure relationship, avoidance relationship, ambivalent relationship, and disorganized relationships. Now, when I was, as a child, as many moons ago, I never thought that parenting was so much work. I thought you have a baby, you follow the instinct and you do a thing, you know? So for many of us, you wing it. Trial and error. So we made a lot of mistakes, and I had quite a few oops moments. And I said, oops, didn't know I was supposed to do that or do this, but thank God they didn't come out too badly. And so the secure relationship, this is the strongest type of relationship. A child in this category feels he can depend on his parent or provider, and he knows that persons will be there when he needs support. For a child's basic needs are food, shelter, clothing, love. Those are basic needs according to Maslow. And even if we don't ask Maslow, we can see that. When a parent is not around, a child is seeking the next person to take care of him or her. Who is going to provide food? They're thinking about food. They're thinking about where I'm going to sleep. Who is going to take care of me if something should happen? Yeah? And so this sort of relationship is the best one. Then we have the avoidance relationship. And this is one category of attachment that is not secure. And so these children learn that depending on parents won't get them that secure feeling they want, so children learn to take care of themselves. So I'm going to go down to the parenting style where children have to take care of themselves. So avoidance children may seem too independent and usually do not build strong relationship. What is missing in this relationship? Trust. A child trusts you to know, listen, you will not do anything to harm me. So when the trust between parent and child is broken, it's very hard to build back that trust. So when you start beating on the child and start abusing this child, then you will see this happening. The ambivalent relationship is another way a child may be insecurely attached to his parents. And so the child noticed what behavior got their parents' attention in the past and used it over and over again. And so the children are usually looking for that feeling of security. Children should not be, I wonder if I do this, I will get this. And even sometimes in our marital relationship, we are not so secure with our spouse, and then we are looking for the right moment or the right feeling. It means that you're scared of the person more or less. You don't want your children to be afraid of you. You want them to love you because they really love you. And so God wants us to love him because we really love him. So the next one I have is disorganized relationship. And this is where the children don't know what to expect from their parents. The children with relationships learn to predict how his parents will react, whether it is positive or negative. And the child also learns that doing certain things will make their parents do certain things. That sounds like a bartering thing going on there. If I do this, I'll get this. So it's not really a love relationship. It's almost, it's a bartering system, I would call it. I can't seem to find another word. And then parenting is a process. So when it says a process, it's something that constantly going, and there are changes along the way, and so it goes on. And so it is promoting and supporting the physical, the emotional, social, intellectual development of the child. And it also, and in the process of parenting, there's what we call the parenting styles. What is your style of parenting? And depending on your child, your parenting style will be in one of these categories. And so, in an effort to understand parenting and parenting style, Diane Baumrind, she performed the research and focused on parents, and she came up with 3 parenting styles: authoritarian, authoritative, and permissive. And later on, neglectful or involved parenting style was added. And so I want to look at the different parenting styles. And yes, I know for many of us, we hear about parenting styles and said, we're going to hear this being repeated again, but we're repeating it for emphasis. Because some of us have not really gotten it yet. You have to make the effort. So when we're looking at the 4 parenting styles, this is what we're looking for. You notice that warmth and demand is part of the variables are there. So those are what we're looking for. So let's go down now to the first one we have. The first one we have is the authoritative parent. The parents are nurturing, they're responsive and supportive, yet set firm limit for their children. Yeah? They attempt to control their children's behavior by explaining rules, discussing and reasoning. They listen to a child's viewpoint but don't always accept it. Even the smallest child has something to say. It doesn't mean that because you can't understand means that the child is saying something stupid. The child is saying something in his or her own way, the way they're able to express it based on the age, right? So, as a result of an authoritative parenting style, children raised with this style tend to be friendly, energetic, cheerful, self-reliant, self-controlled, curious, cooperative, and achievement-oriented. So these are the good children, we call them. So they're nice in Sabbath school and give them everything to do and so forth. So here is an example. We're going to use this example right through the presentation. Here is a 3-year-old child who grabs a toy from her friend. An authoritarian parent would demand that her child return the toy immediately. Another scenario, a 5-year-old requests an additional snack. An authoritarian parent promptly refuses the request because that violates the one snack. It would have been discussed before. You will only get one snack per day or whatever it is. Look at the permissive parent now. Parents are warm, easygoing but lax. They're not very strict at all. They fail to set firm limits, to monitor children's activity closely, or to require appropriately mature behavior of their children. I don't think you can see the cartoon, but anyway, it says, these are my parents, Molly and Poodle. No, you're calling the parents like that? So these children raised with this parenting style tend to be impulsive, rebellious, aimless, domineering, aggressive, and low in self-reliance, self-control, and achievement. Why do you think so? Isn't that a good parenting style? I mean, a child would want mommy not to say anything. Because they need boundaries. They need rules, structure. Yeah? Because if we were supposed to behave like this as church, then everybody will be doing whatever they want to do. So we need to have some sort of structure. And we use it at the same scenario. So in this case, the permissive parent chooses not to intervene. and believes that her child should be able to express himself. Now this child become a miniature adult. And so in some cases, the permissive rationalizes that her child was the rightful owner of the toy to begin with. So when that child grows up and demands something, it is expected that society will give this child whatever he or she needs. And so when a hungry kindergarten requests an extra snack, the permissive parent allows our child to eat anything and everything he wants without any limit or restraint. Can't work, not you? And look at the authoritarian parenting style now. The parents are inflexible, demanding and harsh in controlling controlling behavior. The parents have many rules. They require obedience and authority. They do not take into consideration their child's point of view, nor do they tolerate negotiation or explanation. They favor punishment to control their child's behavior. So, it is my way or the highway. We're not going to have any no negotiation. Listen, what I say goes. End of story. And we know some of those, right? Who do you associate an authoritarian parenting style? Which profession do you associate an authoritarian parenting style to? Sorry? Teachers. Pastors, yes. But I mean teachers and police. Because, and you know, what are the reasons I have? Well, I would say those professions, because for sometimes those persons don't seem to know the difference between their children and those who those they're working with. So police officer will think that the persons in the home are the persons they out on the road. You have to draw them up every time. The teachers can't differentiate their children from other children. So one of the things as parents we need to understand is that when we are at home, we should take off our occupation uniform and be mommies and daddies and wives and husbands, right? I met a couple. Well, I met the daughter first, and the father took her in and he said to me, Mrs. Walters, counselor for me. Counselor. So I said, what happened? She not behaving herself and I tried to tell her, and counselor for me. Anyway, I proceeded to do, to my work contract and so forth. And I just, by the way, what's your profession? She chatted. He's a police officer and he transports the prisoners. Sorry? But it seems as if, based on how he spoke, that's the way he speaks at home. And his wife said it. She said he will just, it's like, do that. I give her the money to do that. So he's talking to his family members as if they're prisoners. So they have to be shuffling up like the prisoners. So we have to be very careful that our family members don't hate the very profession that we serve in. And so because of this sort of parenting style now, the children tend to be obedient and proficient. Are we agree? Why would they have to be obedient? Because they'll be punished and not just punished harshly, right? Lower in happiness. Because next thing you know, they start smiling. That is what we are smile for. Low in social competence. They don't know how to socialize because daddy or mommy might just be wondering why. And sometimes parents, when children say something, we start accusing them before we even know. If a child says, mommy, when can young people start having sex? Then you start, you're having sex? You think you're old enough to do that? Am I speaking the truth? He went like, I said it for you, didn't I? Yeah. I said it for, he just went. No, is that correct? Is that correct? Listen, they're asking for information. When you give them, so when you start barking at them, no, they're saying, listen, if you can't give me the information, let me get it somewhere else. Somebody else can explain it to me, and it might very well be the person you don't want to explain to. All right? They're withdrawn, lower in self-esteem, because they don't know how to, they're afraid to express because it will be pushed back down. Yeah? Inhibited or reserved, distrustful. Example, the same scenario we're bringing. In this case, the authoritarian parent would demand that her child return the toy immediately. Not even ask a question, what happened? In the case of the additional snack, an authoritarian promptly refuses the request because that violates the one snack rule. No question. Now, if a child asks for a snack outside, an additional, there must be a reason. Could be the child is greedy or hungry, but you need to find out that, won't you? Sorry? Or the child might want it to share with somebody else. So if you don't find out and you just accuse the child, then you're going to be in trouble. So the next one I have here is uninvolved parent. And in this parenting style, parents are unresponsive, unavailable, and rejecting. They offer little affection and they do not respond consistently or sensitively to the children's need. Uninvolved parents always fail to set limits on behavior or expectations. While we think our children might not want us to make any noise and say anything, if you're an uninvolved parent and you're not responding to anything, then you're not a parent. You're just somebody in the home. A child needs structure. That's what we said, right? So what happened to the children? They tend to have low self-esteem. There was nobody there to nurture that development. Low self-confidence, little self-confidence, and seek others, sometimes inappropriate role models. Yeah? And to substitute for the neglectful parent. So they're seeing alkaline. And alkaline do the hunting, and have the thing on him on and the eye. And they're looking, alkaline making money and thing. This is what I would like to do. Can you imagine a man who is in jail is still called the world boss and he's still rich, but he's still behind bars? And some parents would have said, if him come out and say, I want to marry to your daughter, and fine, he's no longer a jail body, But it's okay for him to marry to your daughter because guess what? Also, the values. Him have money, yeah? But on the other hand, some time ago when I call him a jail body, would not come near to the house. So, who are they modeling? We say modeling the pants. Listen, I tell my children, I say, listen, well, the only one come through the gate, and my husband just look. That one not coming. So I just make a U-turn. I remember a young man came to the house. He came to my daughter. So we were sitting in the living room, and he just come. He didn't say how they do. So my husband said, don't come back here. You don't have no manners. Don't come back here. And he said to my daughter, your father's so strict on your thing. I said, what happened? Him just coming. You see, you can't just come in my house. She had to just let go of that relationship. If you don't have the manners to see both of us, then you don't come and say, you don't have manners. Yeah? So you have to be very careful. So the same example we're saying, no, here is this uninvolved parent. This is what the parent is going to do. Make no attempt to rationalize or justify the behavior, or does she intervene? Just leave the child to make a decision. In the case of the snack, the uninvolved parent doesn't offer healthy snack. take whatever you want. In extreme cases, the uninvolved parents doesn't offer a response at all to her child's hunger. So, what are some of the characteristics of a healthy child relationship? And these are the 5 that I'm going to look at. Flexible or adaptable, connected, appropriate boundaries, open communication, and discipline. The first one I have is flexible and adaptable. Good parents must be flexible and adaptable. Your children must not feel like, oh my goodness, I can't take mommy, I can't take daddy. They don't listen. They're too rough. They have ability to recognize and accommodate the child's need. Help the child by giving clear direction, offering opportunities to choose and negotiate. That is how you build your child's self-resilience and reliance and all those things, so the child can grow up making good decisions. Then we have the connected one now. The parent should have the ability to differentiate the child's worth from his or her behavior and create a reward-oriented environment in which consequences are positive outcomes, and it responds to a child's problems or feelings. One of the things we encourage parents to do is to reinforce positive behavior. Your child is doing well. The child get 40%. All right, no problem. We're going to work for 50%. The child gets 45. Woo! 45! We're going to go. We're nearing the 50. The child gets 55. Wow! So, I had a friend. His sons, they are bright, brilliant boys. I was at his house one day, and his son came in, and his son got, I think it was 98 on a paper. And this man opened my mouth. He said, what happened to the 2%? And I'm like, if my child comes in with a paper, 98%, I'm going to have a party. A 2%? No, I think this boy didn't even bother study the day. He just went and just did the paper. Get him bright. But what he does, as soon as they come in, book. Them look like nerd. And they behave like nerd. So they don't have no life. Yeah? So we have to look at that. The next one I have is appropriate boundaries. The parent-child relationship includes various boundaries. We used to hear people say, children must be seen and not heard. Now, who tell your 5-year-old at this time that they can't be heard? They're demanding to be heard. And so you have to say, dear, when we're talking, you're going to remain quiet, and then you say excuse, and you say all those nice things. No, our parents were really, what we call in Jamaica, very dark. They've been dark and fool. Not true? We say, go run a back. And for many of us, we went around to the back. I find something. You just finished doing everything, and I go and tell if I go find something else and do. Who is going to find something else and do? So we grow up feeling like, okay, we should not speak, and we're so timid. But these children these days are demanding that attention, all right? And so healthy boundaries consider that what the parent and the child want in a positive way to find a mutual agreeable solution or limit. There are boundaries. There are boundaries to your bedroom. Parents, you must set boundaries to your bedroom. Children must not be allowed to barge in your bedroom just like that, even if the door is ajar. It must be understood that this is mommy's and daddy's domain. So you knock before you enter. My kids come in my room, and I'm in my skimpy. They might tell me to put on clothes. I'm in my bedroom. So I stay in my bedroom. But there must be set boundaries. It's time to eat. You ought to be doing this for homework and so forth. So appropriate boundaries must be set. Open communication. And for many of us, we don't know how to speak to our children. We keep speaking down to them like they're stupid. They're watching you, and they're going to respond the same way you talk to them. So you need to, the way the parents and child communicate sets the tone for the relationship. So the healthy parent-child relationship, use positive communication that separates the child's worth from behavior. Sometimes we don't know how to separate a behavior. When you're disciplining a child, you're not disciplining the child him or herself. You're disciplining the child not because of the child, but because of the behavior. It's a behavior that that is not right. Same thing in church, right? God loves us. He loves the sinner, but he doesn't love the sin. So it's the same thing with the child. And so the discipline for healthy parent-child relationship, discipline also is very important. And to find a solution of conflict and behavior problem, help to encourage a strong relationship rather than punishing children in attempt to teach them. How many of us remember the last time we get a good beat down from our parents? You remember the last time you get a good thrashing? I remember I got it when I was it 17 or 16, somewhere there, before I started working. I started working at 19. And I remember my father slapping me over the back. I finished my duties and my brother did not feed the chicken. And I looked at Daddy. Daddy said to me, I must come and feed the chicken. And I looked at my father. And I said, I'm not going to feed the chicken. That's not my duty. I said, that's my brother. I had to call his name. I said, that's his duty. My father just gave me a whoosh over the back. I sat there, and I was very defiant. I decided I'm not going to get up. Then I hear Daddy say, I am going to bust every teeth out of your mouth. I said, come, Daddy. But it's very bright. I think I blew that head that day because I don't think he come to grip to what I did. I couldn't understand. I was adamant that evening. I said, listen, if he come, I'm going to have to do something tonight. But he didn't come back. I think that was the last time we had such a thing because the shock. I mean, I finished my duty. You know, you always have to finish your duties, then your beard, and come inside. You remember those days? It's not like no, you have to beard and make sure you come inside and lock up the door. And I finished. I did my part. Everybody have their duty to perform. Why should I go feed the chicken? You know, just recently my brother and I were talking, and my brother said to me that he was doing something else, and that's why I was asked to feed the chicken. Now, if Daddy had explained to me that, but don't demand that I go and feed the chicken. That's my brother's. And listen, it's amazing to hear the other side of the story. It's amazing. So communication is finding the solution, but listening to the sides of the story, all different sides. How do you develop a good parent and child relationship? Spend plenty of time with your child. Remember we talked about last night about the time, you have to set some time. Yeah? Parents should spend plenty of time with their children because this will later ensure that they know that they are being cared for and loved. And this is also lead to a nice atmosphere in the house. Ask questions with mild voice. Don't shout, parents. Children are not deaf. Don't shout. Temperament really affects the way by which parents ask their children questions. No matter the temperament, always ask your child a question in a mild tone. So for some of us, we have to be retrained because our parents did a job on us, but that's what they knew. Yeah? So sometimes we get in the habit of shouting. Avoid holding grudges or malice against your child. Let me get this one in. Do not spite your child by withdrawing food from them. All right. or play? I stick with the food first. Food should not be taken from a child. That's an abuse. You should never take away food. If you want to punish a child, there's something that you can do. Withdraw certain privileges, such as cell phone or the internet. They'll learn, trust me. But sometimes we beat them and the children, okay, if I steal $1,000, all right? And I know if daddy find out that I steal $1,000, the chances are I might or might not find out, yeah? So, daddy asked me, did you steal $1,000? No. You sure? No, didn't steal it. He finds he knows now that I stole the $1,000. If he beat me tomorrow or whenever, I can tell myself, I can't take the beating, you know. I now hear about the $1,000. I still have the $1,000. You understand what I'm saying? It does not change the thinking process. It just makes me do something else that I'll have, the end result will be better. So we have to be wise. No matter how badly your child behaves, your love for them should never wilt. Consider your child and their behavior as two different matters. This way you can hate the wrongdoings, yet love your child with all your heart. You notice what I said? Is that what God does for us? He loves us, but he doesn't love the behavior. Love them no matter how the odds are stacked against them or what their attitude is. Pamper a child as appropriate. Take your child out and fun. I don't say you must pamper your 15-year-old. You pamper the little ones. And as they get older, different kind of pampering. Huh? Never agree to the bad things your child does simply because they are yours. If a child does something wrong, the child should be aware, admit, and we take the necessary steps and we move on. Yeah? Tell your child what they are meant to know. You should show your child what is wrong and what is right. Never feel bad to let your child know that bad things, because when you miss the opportunity of this, they will go out and do it. Sometimes when we see our young men in their prison, if some of us parents would have said to them, this is wrong, they might not have ended up there. Yeah? As a result, your child will not understand the dangers associated with their act. If you steal something that doesn't belong to you, you will be caught and you will be punished. So when them start stealing the little sweetie or the cookie or a toy from somebody, that's the beginning. You need to stop it right there. Stop it, stop it. And while I'm at it, there are some things that are very cute, but there are some things that are very wrong. When a child is gyrating and behaving, we say it's cute. And they're dancing up and them going on. And they grow up and they're still doing it. And it doesn't become cute anymore. They're putting themselves in danger. So we need to know. And they will say bad things. I will say, oh, it's cute. He's doing it. It sounds so nice. He cursed a bad word. Oh, it sounds nice. It's cute. Don't do it. If it is wrong, it is wrong. All right? Pray to God. It is not easy to do all these things without God. Ask God to strengthen you, and you will definitely end up having a nice relationship with your child. Okay, there is a quiz that I want to show, but it's some clippings of clippings about parenting style. So I don't know how appropriate it is while the questions and comments are coming in. Are there any questions? No, it's not. It's just like, can I go ahead? Okay, you have a question while I'm, yes. 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 Okay. Okay. This is for the one from a parenting quiz. It's supposed to be under document and under parenting presentation. Okay, he's just finding the video for me. Okay. We can we spoil children? Okay, we can. When we say spoil children, what we're saying is that we're allowing the children to have their own way, without any form of consequences, no nothing. So you become uninvolved, or you become a permissive parent. All right. So yes, you can spoil your children like that, and it does not help them because it makes them become arrogant adults. They don't form relationship very well. They're not able to socialize very well. So you have to start from there. For some of us, it's the way we were treated by our parents. For some of us, what we have done, if we were treated harshly, we decide to become very permissive because we don't want our children to experience the harsh punishment that we received. Yeah? And so we said, no, but being harsh, you don't need to be harsh. And I said last time, we need to start talking to our children intellectually. They'll understand certain things, if you talk with them. Yeah? If they know that what they have done, they're going to be punished for it because this was already communicated to them, they'll take the punishment and still love you. But if you're just going to punish them because you just feel like you're having a bad day, or you're just taking the thought on them, that's a different thing. So we have to be very mindful of how we deal with our children. So being involved with your children's life, you should be there from the beginning right up to the different stages, so you are acquainted with what is happening to your child. You know at what development stage that child is at and what needs to be done. Go ahead. All right. I don't have the data to support this, but based on what I have read so far, some of the things, at least one I know, parents are not too involved in parenting. We're too busy as parents to parent. Yeah? And this, in generations before, sometimes you will have one parent working out or one parent will be at home, creating that sort of balance, that there's always a parent there. Now we have two parents being out, coming in late hours, not able to spend time. Nanny or whomever is taking care of these children, and they're passing on the values to these children. Yeah? Another thing that I think, and this is me, I think because our children are exposed now to more information, they're finding ways now of using that information to their advantage. Yeah? While it is good that they have information, but and the laws too have been changed, sometimes in their favor, so they use that now to find their way around to get their own way. I don't know if I've answered it. You have been in the classroom, you have seen it. And trust me, guys, sometimes we think the nice children, nice parents we see, the kids are really nice. They might just be the little devils you see, going around. So we can't just look and say, this one is a good one, that's a bad one. Each parent, each family will have to take on the responsibility of taking care of their own children. But we're not doing that. We're allowing others to parent on our behalf. So we're expecting the parenting to be done at Sabbath school, at the school, when it's supposed to be starting from the home. But that is it. Yes. Yeah, yes. Thank you. And that is true. Because you want to please a child, you just give them the iPod or the phone. And it will quiet them. But you don't change the behavior, you just quiet them for a time. You're just telling them that it's okay to have the electronics. So what I'm saying, guys, it is very important that as parents that we do our job. You have a question? Yes. He will have to continue. You have lost out on it. And here's what is happening too. You cannot force the children to catch up with you. Because some of us come in and we force the kids. You need to be, once you leave the children for a long period of time, you have become detached. So you have to now rebuild that relationship, and that has to be done gradually. And so it happens too with step parent. It's not something that you just grab and there's this love. You have to work on it. And remember, the child would have passed through certain developmental stages. And so if you miss that, you're going to have to learn and come and reconnect.
Separation for a number of years.
Yes.
And so when there was a reconciliation, that father took the children and actually apologized to the children for not having been there. So you can't come back and just expect that you're going to be incorporated. You're going to get the respect and you're going to get the acceptance. There's a recognition that there was a lapse. Something went wrong. And you have to accept responsibility for that has happened, because the children will not understand.
Right.
And I don't know if it has completely healed the whole situation, but at least it enabled some amount of rebuilding to take place.
Exactly. I didn't, trust me, I've had first-hand experience. My husband went away for a year. And I remember the phone wasn't popular then. So we used to go by one of our friends' office to make the call, and he would just connect us. And I remember my husband every week he would call, changing the flight date, another week, and it went on to a year. And I remember one Sunday, we talked with the children, and my son said to him, "Daddy, are you old?" Within 2 weeks, my husband called me, this is the flight date, pick me up, so and so and so. The shock to understand that he has not seen his father in a year, and he could not remember how his father looked if he got old. And it took me a while to remember that there's a gentleman in my bed. So it took a while for them to understand that Daddy is home. And I didn't understand then, but it's good when you're educated, If I knew then, but I know now. It was kind of rough because we were accustomed to being me and them. Now to have this man come now, and he came in and he's like, "Why we don't do this? Why we don't do?" And I remember we were quarreling at the airport coming, because why the car look like this? And I'm like, in my mind, there's this little person in my head going, where were you 1 year ago when all of this was happening? So I'm just saying to you, it is difficult. So long-distance relationship doesn't work. Whether for the children or for the spouse, it doesn't work. So if you're going to leave your family for an extended period, try to take them with you or don't leave. Let me tell you see what you build up in 10 years, it break down in little time, and it's going to take another 20 years to build up what you build up in 10 years. A word to the wise. Okay, I promise you, not beyond 8:30, just going to watch this. Please answer the questions as we go along, and then we'll wrap up. Question. It's not my fault, Elder? Who had it? Yes.
And me.
Oh, is it?
What do you say to someone who believes that all of this is psychological mumbo jumbo and there is no merit to it really? I am the parent, and what I say goes, and I should not be negotiating with you or seeking your opinion.
What you saying? What you saying? Time has changed. Time has changed. When you were in the classroom earlier, it was different from the classroom now. Am I correct? Sorry? So I'm saying time has changed. Parenting has changed. Yeah? There are no younger parents. There are some parents who didn't ready for parenting. So if you think that you are doing a good job, there's nothing wrong in learning more. You can make your relationship, if it is good, you can make your parenting-child relationship better or greater.
You can't say that this is it, because with each of your children it's different.
Exactly.
Even when you have twins, and I speak as one who has twins, right? Even with twins, it's different. So it is that I don't think what is out there, I don't think anybody can say what is out there. It's a prescription.
It's a prescription.
It is a guide. And you have to personalize that guide according to the dynamics of your particular situation. So that the thing I would say is that parents are guided by it.
Yes.
And I have to say it, Sister Walters, I know you will say it, that you grow children on your knees. If you don't have divine intervention, you can't do it.
Sister, you cry like Jeremiah. Trust me. I remember when we talk about these parenting styles, you can have one, you can have a combination, but depending on the temperament of the child, who you're dealing with, then you use a style accordingly. Okay, you cause me, yes? 5 minutes to go. Yes, ma'am.
Parents who say that they know it, they have not been, let's say they're in their own little world. Those of us who are in the classroom or who deal with children and their parents on a regular basis will understand that what has been said is reality. Because you have parents who we have the children to deal with. And I always tell them, your true child shows up when you're gone. So don't you swear that
I'm shaking your hand from a distance.
Your true child will show up when you're gone.
Exactly.
So those who say that don't have the experience of dealing with, and they don't even know their own child. Because when they're gone, they may be surprised to see who is their child.
Yeah. So you learn every day. All right? Any other question?
Did our hearts burn within us, parents? I have learned a lot, and the takeaway that there are different leaderships or parenting style that will suit different personalities, but overall we should have balance in terms of the authoritative parenting style should be the one most practiced. Even though there are situations which we have to be authoritarian, we might be permissive, but never that uninvolved, never uninvolved. So those are the extreme end. So I just want to thank you, Sister Walters, and your associate for tonight and the visitors we have. And I want to assure you that we will start at home and then we will share what we have learned tonight. So I just want us to stand while we ask Elder Butley to close off in prayer. And just to inform you that before you go, warm refreshment is provided in the kitchen area at the children department. So at this time, we'll ask Elder Butley to close off in prayer. Thank you.
Let us pray. Father God, we thank you once again for this awesome privilege we've had to learn how to be effective parents. Lord, we admit that we have not always done a good job, but we thank you that you are so kind and compassionate and forgiving. And so, Lord, you continue to give us chances to make up for past mistakes. Lord, we pray that what was learned here tonight will help us to be better parents, to help to give guidance to young parents, to those who may not be doing the best of jobs. Help us, dear Lord, to be caring and to share what we have learned. We thank you again for Sister Walters and her team, and we ask for journeying mercies as we go home tonight, for Christ's sake. Amen. Now let the words of our mouths and the meditation of our hearts be acceptable in your sight, Lord, our strength and our Redeemer.